Hi, some thoughts for today, the third Sunday after Trinity. It's always a bit alarming when something or someone in whom we have placed our trust or our hopes begins to wobble. Or perhaps we're setting out on a new path, leaving the old and familiar behind to do something new and unknown. And some way through we think, whoa, is this such a good idea? Then things begin to wobble. A bit like stepping onto the Millennium footbridge when it first went up. Your first steps are fine, but in mid-Thames the bridge begins to wobble and suddenly this supposedly safe structure is not so safe and the banks of the river on either side seem a long way off. Or are you one of the 93 migrants whose boats just starts to drift in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea? Or you represent the opposition in Nicaragua, the Let's Unite party, and you find yourself under arrest? Or you're one of the lorry twins on a boat in a lagoon off the Mexican coast and you feel yourself in the grip of a crocodile. Terrifying. Or you were sent out by Joe Root, the England cricket captain, with your side 76 for 7 and your side wobbling out of control. Not good. Or if you're an historian and Queen Elizabeth I was really a man. The real Elizabeth died aged 9 and was surreptitiously replaced by a red-headed boy. Or if you're just a tired, wanting to be home Galilean fisherman in the middle of the lake and all of a sudden the boat begins to wobble seriously in a violent storm and your master is asleep without a care in the world. This is never a pleasant place to be, whether it is in the middle of the Millennium Bridge or adrift in the Mediterranean. It is very risky. For we have the safety and security of one side where life was not perfect, but it was known and familiar. Perhaps too life was reasonably in control. We felt we had a handle on what was happening. Then suddenly, in the middle of our journey, things start to wobble and go out of control. Whether you are marching in protest in Hong Kong or in Israel, you are in the middle of a potentially dangerous political and personal storm. A secure, safe destination seems a long way off. This was how the disciples were feeling. They had had a busy day with Jesus. They decided to leave their territory and cross into Gentile country. In the middle of their journey, the storm hits them and hits them hard. Suddenly this familiar water, so often a friend and provider, becomes an enemy and destroyer. And all the while their master sleeps. Disciples are terrified. Despite its beauty and wonder, this water has always represented all they could not control. It represented chaos, untold and unseen dangers. It represented fear, and they were in the middle of it. The disciples are now urgent. Their prayer is very real and from the heart. Don't you care, Lord, if we drown? They felt abandoned, totally alone, and no one cares. You know that feeling? Yeah, it's not nice. It's not a good place to be. When suddenly everything is going wrong and nobody cares. It is as if the world around has gone to sleep. With their eyes shut, they are blind to what is happening to us. How can you possibly go to sleep when I'm being tossed about and wrecked by this raging storm? Then when Jesus wakes up, he asks his disciples, "Why are you afraid?" The disciples probably want to shout back, "Well, why not? Why not be afraid? The storm was so fierce, so threatening, so dangerous. Why not be afraid?" A few years ago, the Nationwide Building Society screened an advert on our television screens. The storyline on the advert wanted to show us that they have been looking after us for generations. When something was lost, it would be restored because they were always looking out for us. The soundtrack to the pictures was a very beautiful song called "I'll Keep You Safe."
But I promise you I'll keep you safe.
Jesus could have sung these words to his terrified friends, "I'll keep you safe." Jesus recognizes that just because he is there, they will not be free of storms. There will be plenty of storms, but Jesus does promise that he will look out for them and keep them, their hearts, safe. The last verse of the nationwide song sings, "You are an artist, and your heart is your masterpiece, and I'll keep it safe, keep it safe."
And I'll keep it safe.
When we feel threatened, when we're in the midst of some horrendous storm, we long for someone to be awake and say, "It is okay. I shall keep you safe. I do care, and I shall be looking out for you." So we need to be that kind of friend to those around us, to be there in their storm. God in Jesus says, "Your heart is a masterpiece, and so I shall do all I can to keep you safe." Travel safe, pilgrim.
And I'll keep it safe.